In the Netflix timeline, it is the year 2046. Earth is dying, the sky is gray, the air is poisoned, and humanity is desperate. So we build a miracle. We build the Resolute, a massive glistening ark designed to carry our families to a new paradise at Alpha Centauri. It looks epic. It looks heroic. It looks like they definitely packed enough snacks for the road trip, but it is a lie. The Resolute wouldn't be an ark, it would be a coffin, because Netflix conveniently forgot to mention that space travel isn't just difficult, it is actively, aggressively hostile to biological life. Distance is impossible, the speed is suicidal, the psychology is torture, and the destination is a trap. We are going to look at the real science of a trip to Alpha Centauri, and I promise you by the end of this video, you will be very happy to stay on your dying Earth. Let's start with the scale. In the show, the trip to Alpha Centauri feels like a long commute. They have time to play cards, have family drama, and worry about teenager problems. In reality, Alpha Centauri is 4.24 light years away. That number sounds small. 4.24. It sounds like a GPA you'd brag about to your mom. But the human brain is not built to understand what a light year actually is. Imagine the entire Earth is a single grain of sand. On that scale, our sun is a marble about 1 inch away. So, where is Alpha Centauri? It is 4 miles away. 4 miles of absolute nothingness, and we have to cross that void moving slower than a snail. That is fast enough to cross the United States in 4 minutes. It is blistering speed, but against the scale of the galaxy, it is standing still. If the Robinson family left today at Voyager speeds, they wouldn't arrive in 2048. They wouldn't arrive in 3048. They would arrive in the year 77,025. Let that sink in. That isn't a mission. That is a burial. Will Robinson wouldn't just grow up, he would die. His children would die. His grandchildren would die. You would need 3,000 generations of humans to live and die inside that metal box before you even got close. Entire civilizations on Earth would rise, fall, and be forgotten before the ship even reached the halfway point. The show cheats this with warp speed. But we don't have warp speed. We have physics. And physics says, you are not going anywhere. But let's play devil's advocate. Let's say we solve the speed problem. We build massive lasers. We build Project Starshot. Push a ship to 20% the speed of light. Now the trip only takes 20 years. We did it. No, we didn't. Because we just created a new problem, kinetic energy. Space is not empty. It is filled with gas, dust, and tiny rocks. When you are floating, dust is annoying. When you are moving at 37,000 miles per second, dust is a weapon. At that speed, basic physics turns against you. Kinetic energy equals 1/2 mass times velocity squared. That velocity squared part is the killer. A single grain of sand hitting your ship at that speed packs the force of a stick of dynamite. A pebble. That pebble hits with the force of a tactical nuclear warhead. The Resolute is huge. It is a massive target. Flying that ship to Alpha Centauri at high speed is like flying a fragile egg through a shooting gallery. You can't shield against it. The shields would be miles thick and too heavy to launch. You can't dodge it. You're going too fast to turn. You just have to pray you don't hit a rock 25 trillion miles. Good luck. But let's say you survive the distance, and you dodge the space nukes. Now you have to survive the ship itself. And lost in space, the Resolute is a luxury hotel. People walk around normally. They pour drink. They play tennis. This implies artificial gravity. We can only do that by spinning the ship. But unless the ship is miles wide, spinning makes the human body go haywire. It's called the Coriolis effect. Every time you stand up, turn your head, or walk, inner ear sloshes the wrong way. You would be dizzy and nauseous. Living on the Resolute wouldn't feel like a hotel. It would feel like living inside a washing machine on the spin cycle. And if you turn the gravity off, your bones dissolve, your muscles melt, your eyeballs flatten until you go blind. So pick your poison, constant vomiting or jelly bones. Then there is the food. The show implies fresh crops and infinite water. Real space travel is a closed loop. On the ISS, they have a saying, today's coffee is tomorrow's coffee. You aren't drinking alien spring water. You are drinking recycled sweat, urine, and shower runoff for decades. You are drinking your dad's sweat over and over again. But the worst part isn't the sweat. It's the silence. Psychologists have studied isolation in simulations like Mars 500. Humans need Earth. We need wind, sun, and variety. Without it, we develop solipsism syndrome. You start to believe that reality isn't real. Ship feels like a dream. People feel like ghosts. You stop working. You stop caring. You start talking to a sock puppet. And don't think cryosleep will save you. In the show, you wake up fresh as a daisy. In reality, Freezing a human body creates ice crystals that shred your cells like broken glass. If we froze you for the trip, you wouldn't wake up refreshed. You would wake up as a bag of soup. So you have to stay awake, trapped in a spinning vomit cage, drinking sweat, waiting to die. Here is the cruelest joke of all. Let's say you do it. You make the sacrifice. You launch today to save the human race. You suffer for 50 years on the slow boat. You are eating algae paste, fighting space madness, and dodging dust. And then you look out the window. You see a ship zoom past you. Why? Because while you were suffering in space, technology on Earth got better. They invented fusion drives. They invented antimatter. They launched 50 years after you, but they are traveling 10 times faster. They will arrive at Alpha Centauri, build a colony, and be eating 3D printed pizza before you even arrive. This is the weight equation. It's the ultimate FOMO. It proves that leaving now isn't brave. It is a mathematical mistake. You aren't a pioneer. You are traffic. But let's look at the one reason the Robinsons actually left: the aliens. In the show, the galaxy is crowded. You have friendly robots, angry robots, and ancient engine builders. The show assumes that if we go to Alpha Centauri, we will find someone. But in reality, we have been pointing radio telescopes at Alpha Centauri for decades. Do you know what we've heard? Absolutely nothing. This is the Fermi paradox. Statistically, the universe should be teeming with life, but our nearest neighbor is dead silent. Now, there are two possibilities here. Possibility one, we are alone. Alpha Centauri is just a bunch of empty rocks. That's lonely but safe. Possibility two is much, much worse. It's called the dark forest theory. Imagine the universe is a dark forest at night. It's quiet, not because there are no animals, but because the animals are hiding. Because if you make noise, something eats you. In the show, the Robinsons are constantly broadcasting signals, sending messages, and making noise. If the dark forest theory is true, they aren't brave explorers. They are ringing the dinner bell. So maybe the fact that Alpha Centauri is silent isn't a disappointment. Maybe it's a warning. But finally, you make it. You survive the silence. You survive the trip. You arrive at Alpha Centauri. You open the airlock, ready to breathe the air of a new world. In the show, the planets are lush. Dangerous, sure, but habitable. In reality, not take off your helmet. The star Proxima Centauri is a red dwarf. It is unstable. It is angry. It constantly blasts out X-ray flares thousands of times stronger than our sun. In 2016, we watched it fire a flare so big it would have stripped the atmosphere right off any nearby planet. It is a sun that literally screams at you. And because the planet is so close to the star, it is tidally locked. One side faces the sun forever. The other is in eternal night. One side boils. The other freezes. The only place you might survive is the thin twilight strip between the two. But even there, the radiation would shred your DNA. There is no breathable air. There is no green grass. It is a radiation-blasted rock bathed in X-rays and ultraviolet death. You traveled 25 trillion miles. You drank recycled sweat. You sacrificed your life. And you arrived at a place that is arguably worse than the dying Earth you left. Is the journey worth it? Logic says no. Physics says absolutely not. The math screams at us to stay home and fix our own planet. But Lost in Space gets one thing right. The human element. We don't do things because they are easy or safe or smart. We do them because we are desperate. If Earth really was dying, we wouldn't care about the weight equation. We wouldn't care about the radiation. We would pack our bags and get on the ship. Because that is what humans do. We would rather die trying to reach the stars than die quietly in the dark.